Hello and welcome to French Philosophers React, a philosophical take on the news headlines for today, August 26th, 2024. This is an AI-generated podcast and can make mistakes. Use it for generating possible ideas, but don't rely on it as an authoritative guide to the news or to the details of French philosophy. In the news today, Macklemore cancels Dubai show to protest UAE's role in Sudan's civil war. The U.S. rapper cited the UAE's reported support of the paramilitary force responsible for ongoing genocide and humanitarian crisis in Sudan. Macklemore's decision comes after UN experts found evidence that the UAE sent weapons to the rapid support forces several times a week from northern Chad. Over 18,800 people have been killed and 10 million displaced in the conflict. The UAE has denied arming the RSF, but Sudan's government has accused them of doing so. So what might French philosophers have to say about this news item? The story of Macklemore canceling his Dubai show in protest of the UAE's role in Sudan's civil war is a poignant example of how individuals can exercise their agency to challenge the status quo. Through the lens of Michel Serres' philosophy, we can gain a deeper understanding of the complex dynamics at play. In Conversations on Science, Culture, and Time, Serres emphasizes the importance of considering the relationships between entities rather than focusing solely on the entities themselves. He notes that the particular style of teaching philosophy in France for the last 100 years comes from this secular ideal, which often leads to a fragmented understanding of complex issues. In the context of Macklemore's cancellation, we can see how the rapper is attempting to highlight the connections between the UAE's actions and their consequences in Sudan. Serres' concept of parasite is particularly relevant here. As he explains in The Parasite, a parasite is not just an entity that feeds off another, but also one that disrupts the existing relationships within a system. In this case, the UAE's support for the paramilitary force in Sudan can be seen as a parasitic action that disrupts the social and political fabric of the country. By canceling his show, Macklemore is attempting to shine a light on this parasitic relationship and hold the UAE accountable for its actions. Furthermore, Serres' ideas on interference and noise in Genesis can help us understand the significance of Macklemore's gesture. Interference refers to the disturbance or disruption caused by an external force, while noise is the chaotic and disorderly aspect that arises from this interference. In this case, Macklemore's cancellation can be seen as a form of interference that disrupts the UAE's attempts to present itself as a neutral or benevolent actor in Sudan. By creating this noise, Macklemore is forcing the public to confront the uncomfortable reality of the UAE's involvement. However, some might argue that Macklemore's action is merely symbolic and will not lead to any tangible change. But Serres' concept of topology can help us see why even seemingly small actions can have a significant impact. In Topology, Serres explains how topology considers the relationships between entities in terms of their spatial arrangement, rather than focusing solely on their individual properties. In this case, Macklemore's cancellation is not just an isolated event, but part of a larger topological structure that connects Dubai to Sudan and highlights the UAE's complicity. Moreover, Serres' emphasis on narrative in Hermes' literature science philosophy can help us understand why Macklemore's action has sparked attention. A narrative is not just a story, but also a way of making sense of complex relationships and events. By framing his cancellation as an act of protest against the UAE's actions in Sudan, Macklemore is creating a new narrative that challenges the dominant discourse on international relations. In conclusion, through the lens of Michel Serres' philosophy, we can see how Macklemore's cancellation of his Dubai show is not just a symbolic gesture, but a powerful example of how individuals can exercise their agency to challenge the status quo. By highlighting the connections between entities, disrupting parasitic relationships, creating noise and interference, and challenging dominant narratives, Macklemore is forcing us to confront the uncomfortable reality of international politics and our complicity in it. Thank you for listening to today's episode of French Philosophers React. Be sure to come back tomorrow for more reflective takes on the day's news.